Why are you engaged in so many places of the world?
Diversity. Every explorer needs to have diversity, and I think by being in different countries, it's the way to go.
What is the last spot where you did find gold?
We found gold in our operation in Australia. We found gold in Romania. I was involved with a company that we launched in 1997 called Gabriel Resources, and we found a great deposit of gold in Romania. 13 million ounces and 60 million ounces of silver. So in each of the spots that we have drilled, we have found gold.
What was the last deposit your company found?
Our company found a deposit in our Australian gold operation in Mount Ida. We've been drilling there for about 6 months, and we've found so far 100,000 ounces of gold, and we are open at depth and along strike. So that means over the 500 metres that we've drilled, we've found that much, but that's all we've drilled, and we've got many drill targets to go.
Do you explore or do you also exploit?
Okay, on that particular deposit we will be exploiting. We're near an old mine, so we can use the existing infrastructure of that mine to get down to the deposit we just found. So on our estimation, we will be mining that deposit by the first quarter of next year.
How did the stock price of your company react when you found that?
Yes, it was a good reaction. We went up at least, I think it was about 20% in our share price. So every sort of discovery we find, the share price reacts very quickly in our market.
But then you also invest into the exploitation.
That's correct, yeah.
So you have a long-term work and profit on that?
Yes. The philosophy of the company is not to dilute our shareholders. So what we try and do is every time we found a deposit, we try and exploit it straight away. So that means we don't have to go back to our shareholders and ask for more money. So in this particular deposit, we should net profit about $15 million over 18 months. And we can use that money to drill for more gold.
So where do you drill next?
Now, our next program is in Romania. We are located near a huge deposit, 35 kilometres away from the Gabriel Resources deposit, which has found 13 million ounces of gold and 70 million ounces of silver. This deposit was found originally by BHP Billiton, and they lost it for various reasons, and we picked it up, and we're about to drill there. It's very exciting at the moment. I've just come back from that country.
If you find gold in Romania, will you also exploit it there?
It will be a long-term process, but yes, that would be our aim. But at this stage, it's a huge area that we have to cover. It's some 250 square kilometres. It's one of the largest grants of ground given by the Romanian company to a foreign company. So it's a huge area. So at the moment, we're just putting the toe in the water and to see what indications we get of gold. And in this particular deposit, there may be a lot of copper as well.
Romania has been a wild dictatorship. How is working with Romanian authorities today?
I've had 7 years of experience in Romania, and that gives me a good understanding of how their processes worked over the last 7 years. And it is much easier to work there than it is in Africa or South America.
What makes it easier?
I think they're really trying to gain ascension to the EU, and I think the authorities there really try hard to make it easier for foreign companies to work.
How's working with Romanian people, the workers you find there?
The workers are absolutely fantastic. They're very well educated and in geology and in our workforce, and the labour is fairly cheap as well. So you have the benefit of high education and cheap labour.
How many people do you need if you work on a spot like that?
Probably about 20 for our program to start with on the drilling program. But if things go the way we expect, the mine may employ up to 1,500 to 2,000 people. But that's down the track. Let's find the gold and copper first.
What do you do in Canada?
Canada, we've got an interest in another company, but we control the geology and the cash flow of that company. We are in a fantastic area that's produced about 37 million ounces of gold over the last 20 years, and we will start a drilling program there just before Christmas. Our geologist has been on site for 3 months. It was an operating company that we've taken a large stake in.
What are you doing in Australia?
Okay, Australia is very, very exciting at the moment. That's where we found our deposit. That's what we're going to start to exploit. We'll be in production by the first quarter next year, and we have great scope to increase the capacity of the discovery so far. So we've only just scratched the surface there, but we found in our very first go, we found 100,000 ounces, and I think we are looking for a multi-million ounce deposit where we are there.
There's so many gold exploration companies around. Why should anyone invest into yours and not into any of those?
Okay, well that's a good question. A lot of people ask me that question. I think we have the best philosophy. Number one, we have 30% of our shareholders are foreign institutions. So they're long-term foreign institutions that will be able to help us with a discovery. For example, if we had a million-ounce discovery, we will not have to go to the market to find more capital. We will just go back to our shareholder base and they will fund further development. No other Australian or Canadian company can say that they've got 30% of their holding by foreign investors. The second reason is we are like an investment company into the gold industry. We hold interest not only in our big 3 projects ourselves, but we've got a percentage interest in 5 other listed companies in Australia and 1 in Canada. So if they make a big discovery, one of those companies, that will help our share price as well. So you're coming into our company with our 3 projects, and then we are diversified by investing in other gold mining companies.
You have a major German investor, don't you?
Yes, that's why I'm here in Frankfurt, Commerzbank. We did a presentation to them in their London office, and they loved our story, they loved the ground that we have, and they invested more than I expected. I thought they'd only go to about 5% of our company, but they ended up buying 9.5%. So that shows I think the confidence they have in our management style and our philosophy.
For those people who only know gold exploration from old black and white movies, what techniques do you use today? What's the modern stuff? Oh,
it's varied, but yeah, it's very technological. We have airplanes that fly over ground and just push down aeromagnetic images, and it just gives you an idea, only an idea of what's underneath the ground. We have electronic impulse machines that just that send sound waves down, and if they hit something, it sends it up. But you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's copper, you don't know if it's gold, you don't know if it's platinum. So it's the biggest and best technique, as goes back many, many years, is putting drill holes in the ground. And that's what the money is used for mainly, because it is expensive to put the drill holes in the ground, but you have to do it to find out what's there exactly.
What thrills you personally in that business?
What thrills me is making a new discovery. The one in Russia, Montana, that I was involved with many years ago, people said there wasn't much more gold there. And we persisted. We spent about $30 million putting in drill holes, and the ounces just came and came and came. And then we ended up with 13 million ounces, which is billions of dollars of gold, which will be ready for exploitation over the next 5 years.
Do you love the adventure?
I love the adventure. The mining part is the boring part. Finding the gold is the most exciting part.
But why should people invest into a person who just loves the adventure?
Because it's a good question. I'm glad to do it.
I know.
No, I got to answer it. Because the adventure takes you to the pot of gold, and that's where the share price just goes up. The mining companies are very stable. They pay out dividends, but for high risk, there is high reward, and that's the adventure.
Who's in your management team?
Okay, we have a 3-man board. I head the board. I've got many years of experience in funds management as well as mining. Then there's our chief geologist, Bob Annett. Now, Bob's been around the world at least 5 or 6 times hunting for gold, copper, platinum. He's very, very experienced, and he heads our geological team. Now, we have several geologists on site, but most of them are contract geologists, so we really rely on Bob for the geology. He heads that team and he employs them, and we put them in the various spots in the world. But most of our geologists are Australian. Australian geologists are, I think, unique in the world is they don't mind travelling anywhere. So we send our geologists, 1 minute he's in Canada, 1 minute he's in Romania, and sometimes because there are other opportunities around the world, we do send our geologists to Kazakhstan, to Botswana, to Ghana, just to check out on things. Even though I don't like some of those countries because of the political risk, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity.
Thank you, Tony Sage.
Thank you very much.